Alright, this video is going to be a mishmash of hunts from this last month. I got a chance to check out a new optic for a company. This is all that I can say about it. And it's going to be on my 6.5 Grendel shooting Federal TNT bullets loaded by drill armory and Starline brass, and everything's on a man-belly tripod and ball head. I've got a link and discount code in the description for you. Carpet Canis. That's a coyote. And it is a chilly, windy night. And I don't know how this coyote didn't smell me. The wind is blowing right towards it, but it travels right through the wind stream. Doesn't act like it acknowledges that I'm even there, until it gets behind the tree and realizes something is going on. Still a little too curious. And down it goes. Turned out to be a female coyote coming in at about 30 pounds. Carpet Dasypus. I'm on a property where the landowner specifically requested that I shoot armadillos. I'm getting more and more landowners that are requesting this because the armadillos do damage to the property. And I haven't seen any hogs on this property. I was there for hogs, but this armadillo's here. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot it. As soon as I get settled. Here we go. Armadillo down. Moving on, Carpimophytus. This is my landowner that really has a skunk problem. There is a skunk in the high grass. It's very hard to see because of the temperatures. The skunk has fluffed up its fur, and so the fur looks to be about the same temperature as the vegetation. And it's very hard to spot except for the head. And you see the little head there in the left poking through the foliage. You can hear the truck in the background, you can hear the wind. Finally the skunk is out in the open. I changed the color palettes to see if I can get a little better view of what the skunk looks like before finally shooting it. Skunk down. I've got another skunk on the other side of the driveway from the last one. It's there at the telephone pole. Telephone pole's at about 80 yards. Here I've moved closer. Again, the vegetation's getting in the way. The skunk has its fur fluffed up. There we are. While I've mentioned it from time to time, people still ask me how I get the distances on the animals that I shoot. More often than not, it's after the fact using GPS. Or using Google Earth, or a combination of GPS and Google Earth in order to determine the distance. If it's before the shot, I'm using a laser rangefinder. My next hunt actually started off with some beautiful weather until I got into the field and the temperatures were dropping. I got the InfiRay Finder FH35RV2 mounted on top of my roof. That came from Tech Savvy Optics. And just after I got it on there, here came a coyote. And then everything happened just about this fast. She goes down. And I figure she's down here, but I see the head move. And I give her a quality assurance shot just to make sure she is down and out of pain.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
She came in right at 24 pounds, and I did not check for any signs of fetuses. I don't think they're pregnant yet. From the same spot, Carpe Sus, way across the property in the distance using the InfiRay Finder. Those are hogs in the distance. That sounder's out there at about 900 yards or so. And I'm going to drive around to the other side of the property to use mechanical advantage as much as I can to get over there. Here is where I'm starting my stalk at about 275 yards. But the hogs are remaining in motion, and they are moving just slightly slower than I'm advancing on them. And so it's becoming apparent I need to move faster. At points in time, they're moving in fits and starts. Well, they'll get up and they'll run 40 or 50 yards, and they'll stop and graze for a bit. But finally, I've moved up to where I'm within decent shooting range. I'm going to start with this gilt on the left. Down she goes. I roll a bore. I may have connected with that hog, but then the big boar that was chasing the sow earlier, I connect with him a couple times here. And then I get over to this point and I stop shooting because there is a cattle beast out in the woods. For those of you that don't know, cattle beast is actually the singular form of cattle, and cattle is actually the shortened form of cattle beasts. So I'm going to stop shooting in that direction and pan back the other way because I know there are more cattle back off to my left. I'm going to try a couple shots here at more than 300 yards, and I don't believe I'm having any success connecting. I did look for the hog. He followed a known trail through the woods, but I did not see any blood sign. Eventually I came away with 3 hogs, starting off with this 80-pound gilt, then a 90-pound boar, and finally the last target was a 190-pound boar. Back on the property where I shot the armadillo earlier, this is another night. I've been here for several hours, and once again, no hogs have shown up. So before leaving the property, this is a target of opportunity. Here I thought I might try a headshot on the armadillo, but when my view wasn't improving enough to make that happen and it wasn't necessary, I just went ahead and dispatched it in place. Ben joined me. He brought back his Hogster board. It's a new prototype from Bearing Optics, and he's shooting his Remington 700 and 270 Winchester. I was late for the hunt, so he started off at my place trying to hunt hogs, which did not show up. However, we got some nice video of this deer just showing some of the capabilities of the Hogster board. The deer is in snow. It's 48 degrees, but we had a lot of snow the previous couple days. And so what isn't covered in snow is just going to be a muddy, nasty mess, and that's going to influence our hunts later in the evening. 5 hours into our hunt, and we haven't seen a thing to shoot. Nothing seems to be moving except a couple coyotes. And this is one that's on one of the properties that I do hunt, and so we decided to go after it. It knows we are here. It is keeping an eye on us as we're making our approach on it. And I'm using the rangefinder on my Bearing Optics Super Yoder LRF in order to determine that it's a little further away than we would like to shoot. So we're moving down the fence line. The coyote's actually in the next field, and we're not able to cross the fence where we are. So we're moving down the fence line, and now the coyote's about 184 yards away. And Ben and I discuss it and agree that we can take the shot from this distance. We think we're good to go. The coyote is still taking notice of us, but isn't running because it thinks it's far enough away to be safe. At this point, Ben is optimizing the image in his scope in order to make the best video possible. And the coyote isn't going anywhere because it's feeding on a hog that I had shot the previous week, so it's just gorging itself, making sure that we don't come too close. And while Ben is working on his image improvement, for some reason he never hits record again, and so all the video is going to come from me. And my video is going to be with the Bearing Optics Super Yoder LRF. And I'm going to be shooting my Lone Star Armory TX15 Multi-Purpose Carbine Enhanced.
3, 2, 1. That sounded like 2 hits. Do not cross that fence. Do not cross the fence. He crossed the fence.
That sounded like a hit too.
As I said earlier, we didn't want him going into the next field because these fields are muddy. Not only does he go into the next field from where he was, he's going to go into the next field after that. All the while, he is bleeding out. So we actually got in the truck and drove around to the other side of the property to see where he's gone into that last field. And we got to watch the end of his run, where he drops right there and never got up again. Carpe sus, my friend.